Frank and Eileen, one of my favorite brands to sell in the last 5 years. I passed on this brand so many times. The tag is so unassuming and the name is literally Frank and Eileen. Sustainable brand. I believe they're based here in California. I've found it thrifted. I've picked it up retail arbitrage. I love selling this brand. Very like basic style clothing. Some of it's really oversized, sustainable brand. Very expensive. Like a t-shirt could be $200, $250. A button-down shirt could be $350. It's pretty expensive. I used to have a like connection to Shopbop, which is owned by Amazon. I think I've told you all this. My childhood best friend, literally since elementary school, worked there. And so like every quarter I could place a huge order on Shopbop and they sell. This brand has actually been around for a while, but it is new to me. It's Rhode, R-H-O-D-E. I have found this brand thrifting. I have gotten it in liquidation pallets and I have found it at consignment stores. I only have experience selling their dresses, but man, oh man, I've literally sold their dresses in a size 00 all the way up to like a size 10. They sell within a month. And that's like long tail for this brand for me right now. It's a very hot selling brand, very expensive. Don't worry, all of the brands that we're gonna talk about are not this expensive. I feel like the first two, we're starting off kind of high. They're not all gonna be this expensive, but I have experience selling their gowns. I've sold them on multiple platforms, ThredUp, eBay, the Real, and they sell so fast. Like literally within a week to a month. And like I said, a month is like, that's like long term, long tail. I'm just jumping right into these videos. I do no intro. Hello, my name is Nikki. If you are new here, I hope you will consider subscribing. I upload multiple times a week. And shameless plug, since we're doing a brand video, I have a free Bolo brand ebook that I always link down below. Click the link, it's completely free. I created it last year and it's literally an ebook of 100 brands, Bolo brands. I am going to be updating it, and also I'm going to be sending out some new free resources that I've been working on, like a reseller guide and top selling like brands by category. So if you're interested in any of that, I always link it down below. You will be joining my weekly newsletter, but I only email you all once a week. So if you just want the ebook, you can unsubscribe whenever you want and it's free. So that's always linked down below. I should say disclaimer, all of these brands have some type of caveat, right? Like I might mention a brand that sells horribly for you. Just keep in mind, I am going based off data and experience of current sales, and I'm talking within the last year, really within the last 6 months. I try to film these videos like quarterly because brands come and go, right? Like I used to be so excited like 5 years ago to find Gymshark. I have Gymshark listed and it hasn't moved in almost a year. Who has been around since the Montana videos? I thrifted a really cute Gymshark top it's coming up on a year, and I took you on the come thrift with me video and it still hasn't sold. So brands, you know, it's like a roller coaster. Some go up, some go down and never come back up. So take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, but just use this as a point of reference. Like, you know, a reference back to some brands. Maybe you'll learn some brands that you haven't even heard of before to keep in the back of your reselling mind. Grab a snack, grab a drink. This is probably going to be one of the longest brand videos I have ever done. So I will put photos on the screen. I will tell you about what I've personally sold. Almost every single brand I'm going to talk about, I have personally sold within the last year. So let's get into it. And don't forget to subscribe. Some of these you might be like, oh, really, Nikki? Yes, I'm including this brand, Coach. I have sold so much Coach in the last year. I never stopped selling Coach. A lot of my reseller friends are like, oh, Coach fell off and they're having a renaissance, a revival. I'm like, Coach never went anywhere. What are you talking about? Especially vintage Coach, friends. I sell it all the time. I never stop selling it. That's one brand I have been selling my entire reselling career, and I've been doing this for more than 10 years. So I am here to tell you Coach is great. I have most experience selling the like I said, the vintage Coach, but I've also sold Coach retail arbitrage. A little tidbit, if you didn't know, Coach has an online outlet, and sometimes they have some amazing deals, especially around holidays, Black Friday. I can stock up on the Coach outlet and make pretty good profit selling that stuff. I will say sometimes the stuff that's like newer from the Coach outlet, it can sit for a while, but I always make a really good profit on that. I'm more so experienced with selling like the older handbags. I do really well selling the vintage older handbags. This is a brand that I have worn myself. Like I own some gowns and dresses from this brand. Sold at Nordstrom. I think it's also sold at like Bloomingdale's. I've seen it at a couple other I think I've seen it at Saks Fifth Avenue. Very nice gowns, dresses. Think like McDougal, but I feel like not as known to maybe like the masses, but it's pretty popular. It's a pretty popular brand. I do really well selling this brand on ThredUp. I'm looking at a sale right now. This dress just sold for $172, and I got this retail arbitrage for $20. So this is a brand that you can sometimes find at like Nordstrom Rack. I don't find it online. I actually find it in the store. Nordstrom Rack can be a great place to source when they have sales. Is it quarterly? I used to stock when they had sales. Sometimes they'll have sales every month. It's worth doing a little Google, a little like check it out, because sometimes some of their sales can be great. Yeah, I paid 20 bucks for this. It sold for $172.74, and it's going to give me a payout of $128.70. The only thing with ThredUp, if you are interested in selling on ThredUp, I've done a very detailed video. It's literally an hour long on how to sell on ThredUp. I will link it down below. The only thing is you don't get paid out until the return window closes. So once this is delivered, then I have to wait 15 days for the return window to pass, and then I will get paid out the $128. It really sucks. I talk about it in that ThredUp video. It can take very long to start making your money and getting paid out. But if it is returned, they relist it, and then once it's sold the second time and it's delivered to the second buyer, I get paid out immediately. And if they return it, that's none of my business. I don't care, because then ThredUp deals with it. So yeah, so that's the only thing. I probably should have looked this up before I filmed this video, but I thought one of you told me Betsey Johnson went out of business. I don't know, but I've been finding it a ton, and it's been selling really well for me. I've been selling her dresses and her handbags. I just sold a dress for, it was like $220 that I got from Crossroads for $40. So 40 into 220, I will take that. So I think I saw somewhere on TikTok that she's back, or somebody's revived her line. I don't know. If you know more info on Betsey Johnson, let us know in the comments down below. But I've been finding it a lot here locally where I live, and I've been picking it all up because my thrift stores are not marking it up. So, and my consignment stores. So I'm like, I'll take it. That Crossroads did mark that dress up to $40, but it was brand new with the tags. And my consignment stores here love to mark things up. So for Crossroads, that's not bad. Crossroads in Los Angeles, I should say. Who has been here since the Montana videos? When I went to that consignment store in Billings, Montana, their prices were nuts. I know I'm going to reference a lot of videos. Nikki, if you remember, please list in the description box the Montana video at that consignment store. If any of you actually want to see it, just put in the comments, Nikki, can you put the Montana store? Because I do read your comments. I don't have time to respond to all of them, but I read them. So if you want to see that, I will link it down below. That consignment store, I can't even remember the name. I was like, this is insane. Lafayette 148. A lot of my friends don't pick up this brand. Very expensive, like career wear, nice basic, like elevated natural fiber suits, blazers, jackets, pants. I love selling this brand. I find this is one like more expensive brand that I find every single time I go thrifting, and that is not an exaggeration. There are a couple of brands, and I always tell you all this, that shopping here locally, and I don't take this for granted. Some of you are like, are you serious? Like every time I go thrifting, I find Walmart. But because of where I live, a lot of these brands I've just learned over the years, they have warehouses here, they have distribution centers here. kind of same thing. So I find them every time. One of them is Theory. Every single time I go thrifting, whether it's the Goodwill outlet, a traditional thrift store, consignment store, I find Theory. We have a couple brick and mortar stores here too. And I don't pick it up all the time because sometimes I find it's just really old. There are pieces, I will say, especially if you're looking for yourself, I thrift a lot of their stuff to wear to work. They will last you years. And a lot of the stuff I find is really dated. Like some of the Theory I find is actually vintage. Like that's how old some of the stuff is. So don't pick it up all the time. And Lafayette 148 is another one that I find. Okay, Lafayette, not every time, but a lot. Maybe like 70% of the time. And I do pick it up because it just retails for so much. They are very basic pieces. So I will say, if you are a high sell-through rate seller, check comps because some of this stuff can sit. Like I had Lafayette 148, 100% wool plus size pants. They were size 16. They sat for a year and a half. I paid $1.20 for them and they sold for $75. So while I don't want every sale to take a year and a half to sell, that is why some of the pieces I will pick up, especially when they're like 100% silk, wool, linen. They even do cashmere pieces, plus size. I don't even want to say just plus size because I recently just sold a Lafayette 148 dress that was a size 0 that sold on ThredUp and paid me out, I think it was like $69. It's so weird with the change. It's like $69.95 and I paid $2 for it at the Goodwill outlet. So I will say, if you are not comfortable holding on to things for a long time, check sell-through rate on what you're picking up with that brand. But I think it's worth looking up. And yeah, don't write it off. I hear so many resellers talk about, oh, I don't pick that up. It might be worth looking up, especially if you are a diversified reseller that sells many different ways like I do. So if I look up Lafayette 148, I'm like, oh man, the sell-through rate on eBay is like 6%. That's okay. I still send 2 boxes a week to ThredUp. I also can send that to The RealReal. I don't recommend it. They don't price it very high. I would recommend either sending it to ThredUp if you don't want to sell it yourself, or you can take it to like your local consignment store. Usually they will give me like $8 to $10. Last time I took them a Lafayette dress, they actually gave me $12 for it. So if you can get it cheap enough at the Goodwill outlet, you could do that. But my favorite way, honestly, is either to list it myself or to sell it on ThredUp. I do try to stay away from the super basic, like 100% polyester pieces. Those can literally sit, I'm not exaggerating, for years, like literally years. So with that brand, check sell-through rate. We're gonna start going really fast because if I do like detailed descriptions of all of these brands and what I've sold and what you should stay away from, we will be here for 2 hours. So some of these we're gonna rapid fire, okay? All right, I thought we would switch it up and I would show you footage of my most recent live sale while I put the tags on the screen and tell you about the rest, just to keep things moving, because if I do a deep dive on all of these brands, we will be here for days. Shameless plug, don't forget to come to my upcoming live sales. I have some pretty long live sales. When I say long, I mean like I'm going to be live for a couple of hours coming up. So I always link those down below. I always say stop in, say hi. At least one of you every live sale will say, I'm from YouTube, and it's just awesome. So even if you're not buying anything, it would be nice to have you. But if you want to get some deals, I'm doing like a $10 start live sale coming up. So link down below. Let's jump into this, friends. We're going to rapid fire. Birds of Paradise, very expensive brand. I'm talking like a shirt could be $200, pants can be $300. I find this most often at my local consignment stores, and I pick it up for about $20. Like I picked up a 2-piece set for $20 and I sold it for over $100. So that's a brand to be on the lookout for. Caroline Constas, another brand, beautiful dresses, and that's what I have the most experience selling. I have found it thrifted and I have received it in liquidation pallets. I'm talking dresses that retail for $500, $700, some $1,000. Very expensive, really good quality, and it has a very loyal following. New to me brand, Pixie Market. I actually found this at a $2 day at Goodwill, and the dress sold for $75, and it was an older style. So brand to know. Miko. Listen, I don't know if I'm pronouncing all of these brands properly. Miko, it's Mikoh. A lot of the items from this brand look like elevated basics, like a jacket made with tinsel or a skirt made with 100% cotton that's meant to last you a very long time. This is another one I actually found for $2 at the Goodwill outlet, and the jacket sold for $80. So I haven't found it very often, but when I do find it, it sells pretty quickly and usually for over $50. This one, I am not saying it properly, I'm sure. Lemargold. It's Maregold dresses. I've sold their dresses many times over the years, and all of them have sold for over $75 for me. So definitely a brand to know. Altazura, designer brand. I'm talking their stuff can retail for thousands, but I've been lucky enough to find it actually at the Goodwill outlet and consignment stores, and I pick up whatever I can find from this brand, but I have found coats and jackets. Generation Love. This is one of the more affordable brands I'm talking about today. Like, you can find pieces from this brand brand new for under $100. I pick up their tops, their dresses. Another one I have found mostly at consignment stores. Helmut. This might surprise some of you, but I actually find this brand a lot at Goodwill. Which is interesting. I know we have a couple of stores here. Whenever I find more expensive brands at the thrift store more than once, I look it up and I'm like, oh, we have brick and mortar stores here. So that makes sense that I would find this. I've found it. I'm filming this July 2025. I've probably found it 5 times this year at Goodwill, and I paid $2 for it. And this is a brand, like a vest can retail for hundreds of dollars, but I often find their tops. That's all I found this year are tops, and they always sell for me pre-owned for over $75. This is a newer to me brand, listen, I'll put the brand tag on the screen. It's PITUSA. Oh, this is bad. I'm not even going to try. Dresses. Look up their dresses. It is a more obscure brand I don't hear a lot of people talking about. Petite Plume. They make the cutest sustainable pajamas. I don't know why I paused there. I was just thinking how I kept some of the pajamas I thrifted. Someone must have donated like their collection from this brand, because I found like 5 pieces and I thought, who's gonna buy used pajamas? You know what? They sold in less than a week, friends, and I had 3 sets. All 3 sets sold for over $50 pre-owned. So don't sleep on the pajama nightie section. If you can find things that aren't heavily stained and are in pretty good condition, people will buy them pre-owned. Sandy Liang. I always butcher her name too. Very well-known dress brand. I mean, they make other things other than dresses, but they're known for their dresses. Can retail for a couple hundred. And this is a brand that I usually pick up retail arbitrage. I'm lucky enough to find it occasionally at like my TJ Maxx in their like, what do they call it? Runway section. I found one of her dresses for $60 at TJ Maxx, and it sold for $400. Next up, Save the Duck. Their coats, very well known, very popular. Usually retail for a couple $100. A brand you definitely want to be in the know about in case you find it, because fall and summer will be here before you know it. An Only Child. Sustainable brand, very expensive. I'm talking like Frank and Eileen on steroids. Like a sweater could cost almost $800. And I don't hear a lot of resellers talk about it. I found it twice and I sold it twice this year. That's a new to me brand. Generica. I think it's pronounced Generica. It's Jeanerica. Think like Good American, but more expensive. Actually, I feel like they're comparable to Good American. It's just Good American is so heavily discounted now. Like, you could find Good American at TJ Maxx and Marshalls for literally $15. This brand I never find at discount stores. So a brand you want to know. I feel like it's the brand that Good American wants to be.
That sounds mean, but you know what I mean. Like it's not a brand you're gonna find at TJ Maxx or Marshalls for now. That could change in a year or two. Elisa Mama. I'm doing a horrible name of pronouncing these brands, you guys. This is a brand I've sold their dresses. A lot of these brands are newer to me, like I've learned about in the last year. This brand I found at Goodwill. I had no idea what it was, had never seen it, heard of it. The dress sold for $125 in less than a month. Recto. Recto. I have sold their sweaters. They make other things, but I have mostly only sold their sweaters. They can retail for over $100, and I usually can sell them anywhere from like $40 to $60 pretty quickly. All right, I'm gonna flash a bunch of brands on the screen that are bread and butter brands for me that I find almost every single time I go thrifting, that I feel like a lot of you might have access to and you might find as frequent as I do. Banana Republic, Ann Taylor, J. Crew, Reformation. I feel like Reformation's kind of pushing it. I know that's a brand that most people don't find that frequently, but Banana Republic, J. Crew, Ann Taylor. Let me know in the comments down below. I don't know, maybe it's just because of where I am locally, but I find these brands every single time I go thrifting, and I pick them up a lot. I love selling Banana Republic jackets, coats, J. Crew and Banana Republic. You want to look out for the difference between Banana Republic Factory and then Banana Republic, because they do have outlet stores, and the way you can tell that, I put the picture on the screen. So if you've just been listening to me and you're not looking at the screen, check out the screen. A lot of you probably know this, but if you see the little dots under the brand name, those are from the outlet store, and their shoppers know the difference. So like if it has the two dots and you don't put in the title Banana Republic Factory, they will call you out and be like, this is not Banana Republic. Like they know, they know, so it is something you should put in your title, because those savvy shoppers know the difference. But I still pick up Banana Republic Factory. I just say check comps. Everything does not sell the same. I try to really stick to standout pieces, really good quality pieces that are made from natural fabrics like cotton, silk, linen, printed pieces. I don't just pick up like basic black pants or basic pencil skirt. I know what sells in these brands. I could do a whole video just on like the styles that I pick up from Banana Republic or Ann Taylor or J. Crew, because there is a lot that I don't, but I love just like to keep it short because this video is already going to be so long. I love selling Banana Republic dresses, certain styles of their pants. And the great thing about selling these brands, friends, is that they get very detailed on their tags. They usually will tell you the style. You can usually see when the item came out, what season it came out, so you'll know if you're selling a more recent piece. So let me know if you'd like a deep dive video on these brands, but these are bread and butter brands for me: Madewell, Everlane, White House Black Market, Reformation, J. Crew, Banana Republic, and Taylor, that keep the lights on for me. Like these are just easy 20, 25, 30, sometimes even over $40 flips for me. All right, these brands are more of what I like to call like obscure brands. You may have seen these tags and been like, this looks like something, but I'm not really sure. Vitamin A, a brand I've sold many times, love selling their stuff. American Giant, that is one I pass way too often, and I'm ashamed to admit it. Western Pants, the brand to the left, it's Big Bud Press. I think all of their stuff is made in Los Angeles, most of it in the USA. I've only found these pants. I found them 3 times. I got them for $5 at Crossroads, and they sold for $80 and $95 pre-owned, friends. And one of them had a hole in the seam. So once I finally looked these up, I was like, I have skipped this brand so many times over the years because I just thought, oh, this is like some old vintage brand that I don't need to check comps for. I always mention this in these brand videos, but do not get such a big ego thinking you're such an experienced reseller that you don't need to check comps. If your intuition tells you to check comps, because these are all, except for the two on the right, Ralph Lauren and Aloe, we'll get to those. I mean, I feel like those are just so mainstream, but all of these to the left, I've passed them so many times and I've missed out on so much money because I was just too lazy to check comps. So don't ever think that you are above checking comps and learning new brands. I'm sure a lot of you know that, but I'm mostly reminding myself because I passed on these brands a lot over the years. The brand in the middle, Hack With, I passed on many times because I was just like, this looks kind of like a cheap tag, no big deal, missing out. Outer Known, a brand I'm lucky enough to have found 10 times this year, and I have sold all 10 times. I do well selling their men's items, their women's items. So all of these brands on the screen, definitely you want to screenshot, write them down, whatever you want to do. I'm actually creating right now another free resource for the newsletter. I'm creating like an updated Bolo guide, and it's going to include a lot of these like more obscure brands that I don't hear a lot of people talking about that sell really well. So if you're not on the email list, reminder again, it'll be the first link in the description box. It's also, I've been pinning comments. So if you're new here, I've been trying to be really good about posting a comment. It should be the first comment in the comment section with any of the resources that I mentioned, any of the videos I mentioned. So I've been doing pretty good with that. So again, if you are still here, we are at minute 26 of this video. If you have not subscribed, I don't know why not, friend. If you can't tell, I try to give you as much helpful reseller information for your business as possible. I upload multiple times a week. I have free resources for you, so make sure you subscribe, turn on your notification bell, all the good stuff that you're supposed to do that I need to remind you as a YouTuber to do. I would be remiss if I didn't mention these are to the right. These are my top 10 selling brands right now, and we're in month 7 of this year. Ralph Lauren and Aloe Yoga. If you didn't know, Ralph Lauren has different brands, different tiers. That's another brand we could literally do a whole separate video on. Let me know if you'd be interested in that in the comments down below. But I find Ralph Lauren every time I go thrifting, every single time. I don't always pick it up, but I love selling Ralph Lauren coats, dresses, men's items. I think next we'll talk about some top selling men's brands, because I don't talk about men's clothing a lot on this channel because you all don't seem very interested in it. I did a dedicated video on men's brands and it literally, well, I shouldn't say none of you. I guess I need to be more appreciative. As the channel grows, I'm like, oh, only 1,000 people watched that video. If you would have told Nikki 2 years ago that 1,000 people watched her video, I would have been freaking out. So 1,000 people watched it, but I just think, I don't know. If you all are interested, let me know. Aloe Yoga, bread and butter brand for me. Aloe for me is like what Lulu used to be for me like 4 or 5 years ago. I can list their leggings and sell them easily for $30, sometimes $40, sometimes $50 pre-owned. I love selling all their stuff. I hope they don't tank like Lulu, but I foresee it happening because it's just become so saturated. But we'll see, friends. But right now, I feel like Aloe is my Lulu. Aloe, Viore, even Viore a year ago would be an instant seller for me. I've had some Viore listed for like a year and it hasn't sold, so I feel like that one's on the way out. It's really hard with these activewear brands as far as the resale market. Once they become saturated and they hit the discount market, it just, Lulu, you find like all the live sellers selling it, including myself. I sell Lulu all the time. Live sell, I list it. You can find it at TJ Maxx, Marshalls. I don't know if that's a nationwide thing. I know here in LA, you can literally go to the Marshalls by my house and they have a whole section of Lululemon. Let me know if that is happening where you live. Okay, I'm gonna flash some things on the screen so we can bust through some of these men's brands. But if you have just been listening to me and you are not looking at the screen, you should pause the video and screenshot this, because this is a little cheat sheet of all of the LL Bean brand tags over the years. This is one of my top sellers in the men's category. I love picking up LL Bean, one, because a lot of people don't pick it up, so I find it all the time at the Goodwill outlet, and I sell these, especially the items that were made in the USA or in the 90s, early 2000s. Friends, I am making money hand over fist buying these for $2 because so many people pass on it, the Goodwill outlet, and I'm selling them for like $60, $50, $40, which is great. 2 into 40, I'll take it. I just sold one today, 2 into 35, and that one had a tiny little hole at the seam. So definitely something you want to learn. This will also be in my new Bolo book, but I've been just compiling all these images so we can do deep dives on brands, because there are just a lot of brands, especially vintage brands in the men's category, that people pass on all the time. I literally saw the woman throw back the t-shirt that I just sold for $35 that had a hole in it, and I paid $2 for it. So screenshot this, and don't worry, more info coming soon. But comment down below and let me know if you're even interested in learning men's brands. Anytime I see Wrangler, any of these vintage tags, you can see they're in categories by the 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and the 90s. Automatic pickup, friends. Check the comps on vintage Wranglers, especially in the men's department. Very good sellers, very high sell-through rate, at least when I'm filming this. I should say that, because some people watch my brand videos like a year later, and they're like, they don't sell great. What are you talking about? Let's get into some honorable mentions. Nudie Jeans, that's the brand tag at the top left. Definitely look it up. Bolo. Diesel men's jeans, almost an automatic pickup for me. Filson, that brand right in the middle of the screen, definitely a brand you want to be in the know about. Theory. This is a brand I talk about all the time in almost all of my brand videos, because a lot of people sleep on it. It doesn't have the best sell-through rate, but it does great for me in the men's category. Almost anytime I find Theory in great condition, men's, I pick it up. All the way to the right, these are all the brand tags over the years for Stussy, Stussy. Definitely a Bolo. I just actually learned that they've been around this long. I did not know that. I always see the t-shirt bros at the bins wearing this brand. I just didn't know the history of it. So look at all of these different brand tags from this brand. This is another one that you may want to screenshot, because the older the Stussy piece, the more it can sell for. And I'm talking hundreds of dollars. Hundreds. It's already an expensive brand, so definitely screenshot that one. Let's get into some women's activewear. I didn't put the brand tag on the screen because I'm sure 99% of you know these brand tags. But if you need a screenshot, here you go. Lululemon. I know I was just talking trash about them, but they still sell. Check the sell-through rate, especially what I've put on the screen. I still sell them. I still pick them up. I sell them all of the ways. I sell them live selling, and I list them. I don't send Lululemon to ThredUp. I do not recommend doing that. They don't price it very high. You'll be lucky to make like net $10. And if you are like me, Lululemon, I don't find Lululemon for under $10 unless I'm getting it from the Goodwill outlet. So I wouldn't recommend sending it there. But if you can get Lululemon still, especially these items that I have on the screen, for under $10, I would say it's worth listing yourself. But let me know your thoughts down below, because some people have very strong feelings that they don't pick it up. We talked about Aloe Yoga, but I wanted to put on the screen what does really well. Athleta. Athleta personally is one of my favorite activewear brands to wear myself. I have on Athleta right now as I'm filming this voiceover. So I've put on the screen some of the best sellers with the great sell-through rates still to this day. We've already kind of talked about Viore, Beyond Yoga, Free People Movement. Like I said, screenshot this, friends, because there's a lot of helpful info in this video. All right, moving on, including some more gym performance brands. Nike. Nike is literally one of those 5 brands that I have sold, I'm not kidding, for 15 years. I started selling that brand when I first started reselling, and I'm still selling it. It's another brand a lot of resellers skip on. I put some of the best performing pieces for me on the screen. I'm looking at myself putting on lip gloss. This live selling footage is very insightful. I recommend, if you're a live seller, to like film yourself going live, just so you can analyze, critique, give yourself some feedback. Okay. Adidas, here's what I pick up. Under Armour, another one people don't pick up, I pick up. This is what I sell. And I have sold everything I have shown you and talked about in this video. I have sold within the last 24 months. Gymshark, it's a slower mover. Gymshark, like 4 years ago, I used to get so excited if I could find it. Sell-through is not that great on everything. This is what I have sold, and both of these sold for over $30 for me. When I make these brand videos, friends, I try to include brands that I have learned about, that I have sold, that I don't hear a lot of resellers talk about. These are some of those, like streetwear. I've heard the t-shirt bros call them hype brands. I'm not even going to pretend to know what that means. I'm just assuming it's like a hyped up, like, hey, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting old, but I literally heard a t-shirt bro say, oh, that's such a hype brand. And they kept saying that. So I just, I'm trying to be cool, okay? It's making me choke. Essentials. Fear of God is the only brand I had heard of before 2024. The other 3 brands on the screen I had never heard of. I've thrifted all of these and they all sold for over $50. So this is another one. You're probably tired of hearing me say screenshot this, but really, friends, this is some really good info that was even new to me that I learned. And I created a list, so I would recommend you do the same and look up some of these items that I'm mentioning on the screen. Outdoor utility, like crossover brands, you want to know these brands. I have been saying this since I started this channel. These items are very expensive, and I'm not just talking activewear. I'm talking the stuff people use to go skiing, rock climbing. I literally had a guy that just bought a coat from me, a $300 coat from Mountain Hardwear, because he is climbing Mount Everest, and he bought 2 coats. He bought them last month in June. So this is why I list things year round. He told me, he was like, thank you so much for having these at a reasonable price. I'm heading, did he say Kathmandu? I don't know. He's heading out there to climb Mount Everest. I guess May and June is when a lot of people climb it. You just never know what people are doing. And he told me that the coat brand new was $1,200, friends. So these are definitely things you want to learn, especially if you live in an area where people do a lot of these activities. Like when I was in, was it Wyoming or Montana or Utah? I think all 3 of those states, I found so much ski, rock climbing gear, and that stuff is just very expensive. So those are definite brands you want to be in the know about. If you have made it this far, you are a true oldie but goldie. Like, you are a true friend, so you should have subscribed by now. If you are already subscribed, I appreciate you. I know a couple of you actually stay all the way till the end of the video. If you have made it this far, comment down below brands, BRANDS, because you are a true one. I appreciate you. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. You learned something new. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see any deep dives on any of these brands. I am happy to do that. And I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, join the email list, come to a live sale. All of that stuff is all of that is linked down below. I also have discount codes to Boutique by the Box, and I put a lot of stuff in the description box, so check it out, friends.